I thought the king had more affected the Duke of Albany in Cornwall.
It always did seem so to us, but now in the division of the kingdom, it appears not which of the dukes he values most. Great qualities are so weighty that curiosity in neither can make choice of either's moiety.
Not this your son, my lord.
His breeding, sir, hath been in my charge. I am so often blessed to acknowledge him that now I am raised to it.
I cannot conceive you.
Sir, this young fellow's mother could. Whereupon, she grew round-wombed, and indeed, sir, had a son for her cradle ere she had a husband for her bed. You smell the faults?
I cannot wish the fault undone, the issue of it being proper.
Still, I have another son by order of law, some year elder than this, who is yet no dearer in my count. Though this knave became something saucy in the world before he was sent for, yet was his mother fair and was good sport at his making. Still, the horseman must be acknowledged. Edmund, do you know the noble gentleman?
No, my lord.
My friend, devoted to him. Known hereafter as my honor.
My services to your lordship.
I must love you, and soon to know you better.
Sir, I shall study deserving.
He hath been out 9 years, the way he shall again. The king is coming.
Attend the lords of France and Burgundy, Gloucester.
I shall.
Meantime, we shall express our darker purpose. Give me the map there. Know that we have divided in three our kingdom, which is our fast intent to shake all cares and business from our age, conferring them on younger strengths, while we, unburthened, crawl towards death. Our son of Cornwall, and you are no less loving son of Albany, we have this our constant will to publish our daughters' the several dowers, that future strife may be prevented now. The princes, France and Burgundy, great rivals in our youngest daughter's love, long in our court have made their amorous sojourn, and here are to the answer. Tell me, my daughters, since now we will divest us both of rule, interest of territory, careless estate, which of you, shall we say, doth love us most? We our largest bounty may extend, but the nature of the marriage challenge. Ronald, our eldest woman, speak.
Sir, I love you more than words can wield the matter, dearer than eyesight, space, and liberty, beyond what can be valued, rich or rare, no less than life, with grace, health, beauty, honor, as much as child ever loved or father found, a love that makes breath poor and speech unable. Beyond all manner of so much, I love you.
What shall Cordelia do? Love must be silent.
Of all these bounds, even from this line to this, with shadowy forests and champaigns riched with plenteous rivers and wide-skirted meads, we make thee lady. The line and all that is issue be this perpetual. What says our second daughter, our dearest Regan, wife to Cornwall? Speak.
I am made of that self-nettleness my sister, and prize me at her worth. In my true heart, I find she names my very deed of love. Only, she comes too short. That I profess myself an enemy to all other joys, which the most precious square of sense possesses, and find I am alone felicitate your dear highness love.
Poor Cordelia, yet not so, since I am sure my love's more ponderous than my tongue.
To thee and thine, hereditary ever, remain this ample third of our fair kingdom, no less in space, validity, and pleasure, than that is that on earth. Now, a joy, although our last, not least, to whose young love the vines of France and milk of Burgundy strive to be interest. What can you say? To draw a third more opulent than your sisters. Speak.
Nothing, my lord.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. No. Nothing. Speak again.
Unhappy that I am, I cannot heave my heart into my mouth. I love your majesty, according to my bond, no more, nor less.
Oh, how could you mend your speech of the blessed name all your fortunes?
Good my lord, you have begot me, bred me, loved me. I return those duties back as all right fit, obey you, love you, and most honor you. Why have my sisters husbands, if they say they love you all? Happily, when I shall wed, that lord whose hand does take my plight shall carry half my love to him, half my care and duty. Sure, my lord, I shall never marry like my sisters. To love my father all.
What goes thy heart with this?
Aye, good my lord.
So young and so untender?
So young, my lord, and true.
Let it be so. Thy truth, then, be thy dower. For by the sacred radiance of the sun, the mysteries of Hecate and the night, by all the operations of the orbs, from whom we do exist and cease to be, here I display all my paternal care, propinquity, and property of blood. And as a stranger to thy heart and me, hold thee from this forever, the barbarous Scythian, for he that makes his generation's messes to gorge his appetites, to my bosom be as well neighbored, pitied, and relieved as thou, my sometime daughter. Good my liege, she's can. Come not to be the dragon in this wrath. I love her most. Thought to set my rest on her kindness, and hence and avoid my sight. So be my grave, my peace, as here I give her father's heart from her. Call France! Who stirs? Call Burgundy! Cornwall and Albany, if my two daughters' dowers digest of her, let pride, if she calls plainness, marry her. I do unless you join me with my power, preeminence, and all the large effects of Duke of Majesty. Ourselves by monthly course, with reservation of 100 nights by you to be sustained, shall our abode make for you by returns. Only we still retain the name, all the addition to a king, the sway of any execution of the rest, to let us sons be yours. Which we confirm this cardinal part is
Royal Lear, whom I have ever honored as my king, loves my father, as my master followed, as my great patron thought on in my prayers.
the bow is bent and drawn, make from the shaft.
As it fall rather, was the fourth way to reach my heart, and unmanly, when Lear is mad. What dost thou do, old man? Thinkst thou that duty shall fit to speak with power to flattery thou? The plainness honors thou, whom majesty suits to follow. Reverse thy doom, and in thy best consideration check this hideous rashness. Thy youngest daughter does not love thee least, nor are those empty-hearted whose low sound reverbs no hollowness.
Check on thy life, no more.
My life I never held as a pawn to wage against thine enemies, nor fear to lose it, thy safety being the motive.
Out of my sight.
See better than me, and let me still remain the true blade of thine eye.
Now, by Apollo.
Now by Apollo, keep thou swearest thy vows in vain.
Byron, I'll tell you, thou art evil. Hear me, recreant. On thine allegiance, hear me. Since thou hast sought to make us break our vow, which we durst never yet, and with strained pride come between our sentence and our power, which nor our nature nor our place can bear, our potency made good. Take thy reward. 5 days we do allot thee for provision, to shield thee from diseases of the world, and on the 6th, to turn thy hated back upon our kingdom. If on the 10th day following, thy banished trunk be found in our dominions, the moment is thy death. By Jupiter, this shall not be revoked.
Very well, King. Thus I will hear freedom of the sense, banishment is here. The gods today shall forgive me. The justice things and pass most rightly said. That your large speeches may your deeds prove that good effects may spring from words of love. Thus can the prince's visual adieu. He'll shape his old course and the country new.
Here's France and Burgundy, my noble lord.
My lord of Burgundy, we first address forward to you, who with this king have rival for our daughter. What in the least will you require in the present hour of further cease your quest of
Most royal majesty, I crave no more than your highness offered, nor will you tender less.
right, noble Burgundy, when she was dear to us, we did hold her so. But now her price is fallen. So there she stands. If aught within that little seeming substance, or all of it, with our displeasure pleased, and nothing more than fit me like your grace. She is dead, and she is yours.
I know no answer.
Will you, with those infirmities she owns, unfriended, new adopted to our hate, dowered with our curse, and strengthened with our oath, take her or leave her?
Election, sir, makes not upon such conditions.
Then leave her, sir, for by the power that made me, I tell you all her wealth. For you, great king, I would not from your love make such a stray to match you where I hate. Therefore beseech you to avert your liking a more worthier way than on a wretch whom nature is ashamed almost to acknowledge hers.
This is most strange. That she, that even but now, was your best object. The argument of your praise, balm of your age, most best, most dearest, should in this trice of time commit a thing so monstrous, to dismantle so many folds of favor. Sure, her offense must be of such unnatural degree that it monsters it, or your forevouched affections fall into taint, which, to believe of her, must be a faith that reason without miracle could never plant in me.
I yet beseech your majesty, if for our want that live in the oily art, to speak and purpose not, since what I will intend I'll do it before I speak, that you make known it is no vicious blot, murder or foulness, no unchaste action or dishonored step that hath deprived me of your grace and favor, but even that for want of which I am richer, is still soliciting I, such a tongue, I'm glad I have not, for not to have at last be in your life.
Better thou hast not been born than not to please me.
Is it but this? A tardiness in nature, which often leaves the history unspoken that it intends to do. My lord of Burgundy, what say you to this lady? Love's not love when it's mingled with regards that stand aloof from the entire point. Will you have her? She is herself a dowry.
Most royal Lear, you but that portion which you yourself proposed, and here I take Cordelia by the hand, Duchess of Burgundy.
Nothing. I swore, I'm firm.
I'm sorry that you have so lost a father. You could lose a husband as well.
Peace be with Burgundy. Since that respects the fortune on his love, I shall not be his wife.
Fairest Cordelia, thou art most rich being poor, most choice forsaken, and most love despised. Thee and thy virtues here I seize upon. Be it lawful, I take up what's cast away. Gods, 'tis strange that from their cold's neglect my love should enkindle to inflamed respect. Thy dowerless daughter, king, thrown to my chance, is queen of us, of ours, and our fair France. Not all the dukes of Waters Burgundy can buy this unprized, precious maid of me. Bid them farewell, Cordelia. Though unkind, thou losest here a better where to find.
La house of France, let her be thine, for we have no such daughter, nor shall ever see that face of hers again. Let will be gone, without our grace, our love, our benison. Come, noble Burgundy.
Bid farewell to us.
The jewels of our father. Watch eyes. Hear your leaves. I know what you are. Like a sister, and most loath to call your faults as they are named. Use well our father. To your professed bosoms I bid. But yet, alas, could I with his grace, and with perfect compassion place. Farewell to you both.
Prescribe not us our duties. Let us 17th century, Lord, would proceed to its fortune's alms. You have obedience stands it, and well are worth the want which you have wanted.
I'm children who hold but plated cunning hides. Who covers fault, at last shapely derides. Well may you prosper.
Come, my fair Cordelia.
Sister, it is not a little I have to say what most iliac continues to expose. I think our father will finish tonight.
That's most certain, and with you. Next month with us.
You see how full of change as his age is.
The observation we made that have not been little.
He always loved our sister most. And look what poor judgment he passed her off appears too grossly.
'Tis the infirmity of his age, that he hath ever but slenderly known himself.
Although the best and soundest of his time hath been but rash. We must look therefore to see his age not alone the intellectual long and rash condition. For there would all be unruly waywardness that infirm. Coleridge is bring with him.
Such unconstant starts are we like to have from him as this of Kent's banishment.
There is further confidence of leave taking the kingdom of France. Pray let's stick together. If our father continues to bear authority with such disposition as he now carries, this last serenity did but defend us.
We shall further think.
We must do something. And in the heat.
Ah, nature, art my goddess. To thy law my services bound. Wherefore should I stand and play the custom, and permit the curiosity of nations to deprive me? For that I am some 12, 14 moonshines flag, my brother, why bastard? Wherefore base, when my dimensions are as compact, my mind as generous, and my shape as true, as honest, madam's issue? Why Brandhias, base, bases, blasphemy, base, who in the lusty self of nature take on more quality, more fierce composition than doth in a dull, stale, tired bed. Go to the creating a whole tribe of fops, got to is to sleep and awake. Well then, legitimate Edgar, I must have your land. Our father's love is to the bastard, is to the legitimate. Fine word. Legitimate? Well, my lord, if this letter speed, and my invention thrive, Edmund the base shall top the legitimate I grow. I prosper. Now gods stand up for bastards.
Kings banished us in France and called Arthur. And the king gone tonight. Subscribed his power, confined to exhibition. All this done upon Gad. Edmund, how now? What news?
So please your lordship, none.
What letter are you reading?
Nothing, my lord.
Why so earnestly seek that you put out that letter?
I know no use, my lord.
No. What needed then that terrible dispatch in your pocket? The quality of nothing hath not such need to hide itself. No. If it be nothing, I shall not be expected.
I beseech you, sir, pardon me. It is a letter from my brother that I have not all read, and for so much as I have perused, I find it not fit your looking.
Give me the letter, sir.
I shall offend either to detain or to give it. The contents, as in part I understand them, are to blame. I hope from my brother's justification he wrote this but as an essay or taste of my virtue.
This policy and reverence of age makes the world bitter as the best of our times. So our fortunes from us, till our oldness cannot relish them. I begin to find an idle and fond bondage in the oppression of the aged tyranny, who sways not as it hath power, but as it is suffering. Come to me that of this I may speak more. If our father would sleep till I waked him, you should enjoy half his revenue forever and live the beloved of your brother Edgar. Conspiracy. Sleep till I waked him, and you should enjoy half his revenue. My son Edgar. Hath he a hand to write this? A heart and a brain to read it in? When came this to you? Who brought it?
It was not brought me, my lord. There's the cunning of it. I found it thrown in at the casement of my closet.
Know you the character to be your brother's?
If the matter were good, my lord, I durst swear it were his. But in respect of that, I would fain think it were not.
It is his.
It is his hand, my lord. I hope his heart is not his conscience.
Have we ever heretofore sounded you in this business?
Never, my lord. But I have heard him oft maintain it to be fit that sons at perfect age and fathers declining, the father should be as ward to the son, and the son manage his rebellion.
Villain. Villain, his very opinion in a letter. Horrid villain. Unnatural. Detested, brutish villain. Worse than brutish. Go, sir, I seek him. I apprehend the abominable villain. Where is he?
I do not well know, my lord. If it shall please you to suspend your indignation against my brother until you can obtain from him some better indication of his intent, you should run a certain course. Where, if you violently proceed against him, mistaking his purpose, it would make a great gap in your own honor, and shake in pieces the heart of his obedience. I dare pawn down my life with him, that he hath written this but to feel my affection to your honor, and to no further pretense of danger.
Thank you, sir.
If your honor should judge it meet, I will place you where you shall hear us convert this, and by auricular assurance have your satisfaction, and that without any further delay. This very
Cannot be such a monster.
Nor is not sure.
To his father, who so tenderly and entirely loves him. Heaven and earth, Edmund, seek him out. Wind me into him. Pray, frame this business after your own wisdom. I will unstate myself to resolution.
I will see you, sir. Present. Convey the business as I should find means, and acquaint you with them all.
These late eclipses must on moon pretend no good to us. Though the wisdom of nature can reason it thus and thus, yet nature finds itself stirred at hearts. Love food, friendships fall off, lovers fly. In cities, commuting in countries destroyed, houses, trees we eat, the bond of traffic, which sun falls. My villain comes under the prediction, his son against father. The king falls from bias of nature, there is father against child. We've seen the best of our times. Machinations, hollowness, treachery, and all ruinous disorder follows to scribe to our graves. Find out this villain, Edmund, shall lose them nothing. And the noble and true-hearted can banish his offense of honesty to strange.
This is the excellent thought with the world, that when we are sick in fortune, often the circuit of our liberty, we make guilty of our disasters the sun, the moon, and the stars, as if we were villains by necessity, fools by heavenly compulsion. knaves, thieves, and treacherous by a spherical predominance, liars, drunkards, and adulterers by an enforced obedience of planetary influence. And all that we are evil in by a divine thrusting on an admirable vision, a poor master man, to lay his goatish disposition to the charge of a star. My father, compounded with my mother, was a dragon's tail, and my nativity was under earth's major, so that it follows. I am rough and lecherous, but I should be that I am, had the maidenly star in the firmament twinkled on my bastard eyes. Edgar. And he comes, like the catastrophe of the old comedy. My cue is villainous melancholy with a cry like Tom of Bedlam. Oh, these eclipses do portend these divisions. Fasolami.
How now, Brother Edmund? What serious contemplation are you in?
I am thinking, brother, of a prediction I read this other day of what should follow these eclipses.
Do you busy yourself with that?
I promise you, the effects herein succeed unhappily, as of unnaturalness between the child and the parent, death, dearth, dissolution of ancient liberties, divisions in state, menaces and maledictions against king and nobles, needless differences, banishment of friends, dissipation of cohorts, nuptial breaches, and I know not what.
How long have you been a sectary astronomical?
Come. When saw you my father last?
Why the night gone by?
Spake you with you?
Aye, 2 hours together.
Parted you on good terms? Found you no displeasure in him in word or countenance?
No, none at all.
To think yourself wherein you may have offended, and at my entreaty forbear his presence till some little time hath qualified the heat of his displeasure, which at this instant so rageth in him, that with the mischief of your person it would scarce delay.
Some villain hath done me wrong.
That's my fear. I pray you, have constant forbearance till the speed of his rage grows slower. And as I say, retire with me to my lodging, from whence I will fitly bring you to hear my Lord speak. Here's my key. You pray, boy. If you serve God, go armed.
Armed, brother?
Brother, I advise you to the best. Go armed. I am no honest man, if there be any good meaning in this told you. I told you what I have seen and heard, but faith, nothing like the image of horror. Pray you, away!
Shall I hear from you anon?
I do serve you with this business. Incredulous father, and a brother noble whose nature is so far from doing harms that he suspects none, on whose foolish honesty my practices ride easy. I see the business. Let me, if not by birth, have things by wit. All with me is meet that I can fashion it.
Every hour in class is the sun grows time or other that sets a solid odds. Not to endure it. When you return from hunting, I will not speak with you. When I will sing, you come flat form services and shall do well.
He's coming now. Hey! I can hear him.
Go, get it ready. How now? What art thou? What dost thou profess? What wouldst thou with us?
Would you profess to be to listen with, to serve him truly and with truth, to move him as his rules, to keep us within his words, etc. To fear duty, to fight when I cannot choose, and to eat no fish.
What art thou?
Really honest words, and poor as the king.
Thou be as poor for a subject as he is for a king. Thou art poor enough. What wouldst thou?
Silence!
Who wouldst thou serve?
You!
Dost thou know me, fellow?
What you have at your coolness, what shall the fiend call master?
What's that?
Authority.
What services canst thou do?
We can keep honest truth.
Right.
Run, my curious tale and telling it, and deliver a plain message, bluntly. That which ordinary men are before and qualified, and the best of men is delicious.
How old art thou?
Not so young, sir, to woo a woman for singing, nor so old to dote on her for anything. I bears my back 48.
Follow me, thou shalt serve me. If I like the young worse after dinner, I will not part from thee yet. Dinner! Oh! Dinner! Where's my knave, my fool? Go you. Call my fool hither. You, sir. Where's my daughter? So pleased me. This is the fellow there. Hold back. Where's my fool? Home, I think the world's asleep. How now, where's that mongrel?
He says, my lord, your daughter is not well.
Why came not the slave back to me when I called him?
He answered me in the roundest manner, sir. He would not.
He would not?
Sir, I know not what the matter is, but to my judgment, your highness has not entertained the same ceremonious affection as you were wont. His great abatement and kindness appears as well the general dependence as the Duke himself also, and your daughter.
Sayest thou so?
I beseech you, pardon me, my lord, my mistake. My duty cannot be silent, for I think your highness wronged.
What remembers me of my own conception? I have this most faint neglect of late, which I rather blame as my own jealous curiosity than as a very pretense and purpose of unkindness. I will look further into it. But where's my fool? I've not seen him this 2 days.
This my young lady is going to be friends, so the fool has much pined away.
No more of that. Go you. Tell my daughter I will speak with her. Go you and call my fool. Oh, you say you. Come here, sir. Who am I, sir?
My lady's father.
My lady's father. My lord's knave. You whoreson dog. You slave. You cur.
I am not his lord. I beseech your pardon.
Do you bandy looks with me, you rascal!
I'll not be struck, my lord.
Your trip near, you base football player. Now, sirs, me I love thee.
Come, sir. Arise. Away. I'll take you there. Away, away! Measure over right again. 10. Let go. Hello, Stop!
Now, my friendly knave, I thank thee. He is earnest in thy service.
Let me hire him too! Here's my coxcomb.
How now, my pretty knave, dost thou?
Sirrah, you're about to take my coxcomb.
What?
Why, for taking one's part that's out of favor. Nay, thou canst not smile as the wind sits, thou catch cold surely there. Take my coxcomb. Why, this fellow hath banished 2 aunts' daughters, and done the 3rd blessing against his will. If thou fool him, thou must needs wear my coxcomb. How? I had 2 daughters and 2 coxcombs.
Wonderful.
I gave them all my living, I take my coxcombs myself. There's mine. Beckon her of thy daughters.
Take heed, sir, of the whip.
Choose a dog must to kill. He must be whipped out, but in the brack may stand by the fire and strike.
Pestilent ball to thee.
Sir, speech. Mark it. Have more than enough show is speak less
bitter fool.
Dost thou know the difference, my boy, between a bitter fool and a sweet fool?
Go ahead, teach me.
Your lord which counselled thee to give away thy land, come place him here by me. Do thou for him stand. The sweet and bitter fool will presently appear. The one in motley here, the other found out there.
Dost thou call me fool, boy?
All I have done is thou give away, that thou forward.
This is no together.
No faith. Lords and great men brought at me. Though I had lawfully outlaid have part on it. And ladies too. They'll not let me have all the fool to myself. They'll be snatching me. Give me an egg, uncle. I'll give you 2 crowns.
What 2 crowns to be?
Why? When I have cut the egg a little, and add up the meat, the 2 crowns the egg. And thou wilt not have in the middle names of my little parts. Thy voice, thine ass, on thy back like the dirt. Little rooster of all towns, the names I hold away. I speak like myself in this, let him be whipped. First finds it so. Fools have narrowless wit in a year, or wise not from foppish. They know not how their wits to wear. Their manners are so apish.
When you ought to be so full of songs, sir.
I've used it none ever since thou madest thy daughter to my mother. For when thou givest them the rod and puttest down my own breeches, then they with sudden joy did weep. And I for sorrow sighed, that such a king should play the weak, and go the fool song on. Pretty uncle, the schoolmaster who can teach thy fool to lie, I would fain learn to lie.
And you lie still. What have you whipped?
I marvel! What kid thou thy daughters are? They'll have me but for speaking true. Thou have me but for lying, and sometimes I can hold in my peace. I'd rather be any kind of thing than a fool. And yet I would not believe that one. Thou hast pared thy lip for both sides, and left nothing in the middle. Your parents.
How now, doctor? What makes that frontlet on? They think you're too much to make in the frown.
Thou wast a pretty fellow, and thou hast no need to care for frowning. Now, thou art low without figure. I am better than thou art now. I am a fool, thou art nothing. Yes, forsooth, I will hold my tongue, so your face fits me, though you say nothing. You eat more crust or crumb, you're evolved. How want pretty home. There's a shiver. Not the least of her. This your all licensed fool, but other your insolent regiment to outwardly part, to quarrel, bringing forth that right not to endure in riots. Sir, I have thought by making this well known unto you to have found a sacred dress. Now broken here, by what yourself too late have said and done, that you protect this course and put it on by your own allowance, which you should. The fault would not escape censure, nor the redress of sleep, which the tender of a wholesome rule might do that offense that elsewhere shame, that then necessity would call to stream receiving. For you know, uncle, the head fellow fend the fool so long, and it got his head bit off by a heel. So out with the candle, and you were left dark.
Daughter?
Sir, I would you would make use of that good wisdom whereby I know you are brought, and put away these dispositions that transform you from what you like and are. And not an ass know when the cart draws the horse. Jug, I love thee.
Doth any here know me? Listen now, here. Doth he walk thus, speak thus, for his eyes? His notion weakens, his discerning to lethargy. Waking? That's not so! Who is it that can tell me who I am?
Lear shadow.
I would learn that. For by the marks of sovereignty, knowledge, and reason, I should be false persuaded. I have daughters.
Which they will make your feet, father.
Your name, fair gentlewoman?
Admiration, sir, is much the savor of other million francs.
know, can
Darkness, devils. Saddle my horses, call my train together. Degenerate bastard, I'll not trouble thee. Yet have I left a daughter.
you strike my people, and your sword and rattle make servants their betters.
Woe that too lately bends. Oh, sir, are you come? Is it your will? Speak, sir. Prepare my horses. Ingratitude, thou marble-hearted fiend, more hideous when thou showest me in a child, a sea monster. Pray, sir, be patient. Test, kite, thou liest! My train are men of choice and rarest parts, that all particulars of duty know, and for the most exact regard support the worships of their name. Oh, small fault, how ugly didst thou in Cordelia's show that like an engine wrenched my frame of nature from the fixed place, drew from my heart all love and added to the goal. Oh, Lear, 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 beat at this gate that let thy folly and thy dear judgment out. Go, my people.
My lord, I am guiltless as I am ignorant of why that moved.
It may be so, my lord. Here, nature, here, dear goddess, here. Suspend thy purpose if thou didst intend to make this creature fruitful. Into her womb convey sterility. Dry up in her the organs of increase, and from her delicate body never spring a babe to honor her. If she must teem, create a child of spleen that it may live, and be a thwart, disnatured torment to her. Let it stamp wrinkles in her brow of youth, with cadent tears fret channels in her cheeks. Turn all her mother's pains and benefits to laughter and contempt, that she may feel how sharper than a serpent's tooth it is to have a thankless child. Away! Away!
Now, gods that we adore, where comes this?
Never afflict yourself to know the cause, but let its disposition have that scope which dotage gives it.
What? 50 of my followers and a clap within a fortnight!
What's the matter, sir?
I'll tell thee. Life and death. I am ashamed that thou hast pardoned, shaped my manhood thus, that these hot tears should break from me perforce and make thee worth them. Blasts and faults upon thee. The untented woundings of a father's curse pierce every sense about thee. Old fond eyes, but weep this cause again, I'll pluck thee out and cast thee with the waters that you lose to turn the plague. Yea, does it come to this? Let it be so. Yet have I left a daughter, who I'm sure is kind and comfortable. When she shall hear this of thee, with a nail she'll flay thy ruthless visage. Thou shalt find that I'll resume that shape which thou dost think I have cast off forever. Thou shalt. I warrant thee.
You mark this, my lord?
I cannot be so partial, Donald. The great love I bear you.
Oh, sir. No more. Oswald, what ho! You, your name be served. After your master!
Hurry! Take the fool with me! A fox, one is caught, and such a dog who should turn to slaughter, my captain, my altar to the full.
This man will have your counsel. 100. Yes. Politics, the same to 100 knights. But on each dream, each buzz, each fancy, which complains to life.
If I don't, here's my sister. If she sustained him 100 nights when I showed the unfitness. And ho, Oswald! What, have you read that letter?
Yes, ma'am.
Take you some company and wait to horse. Inform her full of my particular fear, and there to add such reasons of your own as make you practice more. Get you gone! Hasten your return. No. No, my lord. It's merely gentleness in course of yours, so I condemn it not. Get under pardon, you are much more tasked. From want of wisdom, you are praised for your harmful minds.
How far your eyes may pierce, I cannot tell. Striving to better, oft we mar what's well.
Nay.
Well, well. The event.
Go you before the Gloucester with these letters. Wait my daughter no more with anything you know that comes from her demand out of the letter. If your diligence be not speedy, I shall be there for you.
We will look through, my lord, till I have delivered your letter.
The man's brains were in his heels. We're not in danger of life.
Aye, boy.
A pretty be buried then. Life will never go slipshod. Shalt see thy other daughter will use thee kindly. For though she's like this is perhaps like an apple, yet I can tell what I can tell.
Why canst thou tell, my boy?
That your face is like this, a crab does to a crab. Canst tell I was no sense in the midwife's face.
No.
Why keep one's eyes? He besides knows that when a man cannot smell out, he may spy into.
I did her wrong.
Canst tell how an oyster makes his shell?
No.
Nor I neither. But I can tell why a snail has a house.
Why?
Why to put hen in, not to give away his daughters and leave his horns without a case.
Oh, forget my nation, so kind, father. Be my horses ready.
By asses are going about him. The reason why the 7 stars, not more than 7, pretty reason.
Because they are not 8.
Yes, indeed, thou wouldst make a good fool.
Take it again, false, monster ingratitude.
Thou wert my fool, uncle, I had thee beaten. For being old before thy time.
How's that?
That thou shouldst not have been old, till thou hadst been wise.
Oh, that we not be mad. Not mad, sweet. How will keep me in temper? I have got to be mad. Come now, are my horses ready?
Ready, my lord.
Come.
She is made now, the last of my torture shall not be made long. Must be shorter.
Save me, Bert.
And you, sir, I have been with your father, and given you notice that the Duke of Cornwall and Reading's Duchess will be here with him this night.
How comes that?
Nay, I know not. Have you heard of the news abroad? I mean the whispered ones, for they are yet but ear-piercing arguments.
Not a word, pray you, what are?
Have you heard of no likely wars towards which the Dukes of Cornwall happen?
Not a word.
You may do that in time. Very well, sir.
Better, best. This weaves itself in force. My father has set guard to take my brother, and I have one thing, a queasy question, which I must ask. Grievous and fortunate work. Brother! A word! Descend, brother, I say! My father watches. Oh, sir, fly this place. Intelligence is given where you are hid. You have nothing to be back to tonight. Have you nothing spoken against the Duke of Cornwall? He's coming hither now in the night, in the haste I'm making with him. Have you anything said upon his party against the Duke of Albany? Advise yourself.
I'm sure not a word.
I hear my father coming, pardon me. In cunning, I must draw my sword. Draw! Seem to defend yourself. Now put your weapon. Yield! Come before my father! Help! Help! Fly, brother! Torches! Torches! So farewell! Some blood. Drawn. We get up. We get. One more fierce endeavor. Ah!
seen drunkards do more than this in sport. Help! Help! Stop! Father! Help!
Now, Edmund, where's the villain?
You're sleeping in the dark. Jobs, jobs, conquering the moon to stand auspiciousness.
But where is he?
Look, sir, please.
Where's the villain, Edmund?
Fled this way, sir, when by no means he...
Pursue him! Oh, go after! By no means what?
Persuade me to the murder of your lordship. But then I told him the revenge of God sees parasites in all the thunders then. Spoke with how manifold and strong a bond the child is bound to father. Son and father. Seeing how loathly opposite I stood to his unnatural purpose in fell motion. With his prepared sword, he charges home mine unprovided body, lanced mine arm. But when he saw my best alarmed spirits bold in the quarrel's right, roused to the encounter, whether gasted by the noise I made, full suddenly he fled.
Let him fly far. Not in this land shall he remain uncaught and found.
Dispatch!
No Duke, my master, my worthy art and patron comes tonight. By his authority I will proclaim it, that he which finds him shall deserve our thanks, bringing the murderous Cato to the stake. He that conceals him, death.
When I dissuaded him from his intent, and found him right to do it with cursed speech, I threatened to discover him. He replied, "Thou unpossessing bastard, dost thou think if I should stand against thee? Could the reposure of any trust, virtue, or worth in thee make thy words faith? No. What I should deny, ask this I would, I will thou didst produce my very character, I turn it all to thy suggestion, blot and damned practice, and thou must make a dullard of the world if they not thought the profits of my death, very pregnant and potential spurs to make thee seek it."
Strong and fastened villain! Would he deny this letter? I never got him. Hark, Duke's trumpets. I know not why he comes. They're all both the villain shall not escape. The Duke must grant me that. Besides, his picture I shall send far and near, that all the lands may have to note of him. It is my land, loyal and natural. I'll work the means to make it
How now, my noble friend? Since I came hither, which I can call it now, I have heard some strange news.
If it be true, all vengeance comes too short which can pursue the offender. How dost, my lord?
Oh, lady, my whole cause is cracked. It's cracked.
What? Did my father's godson seek your life? He whom my father made? Your anger?
Shame would have it.
Was he not companion of the riotous knights that attend upon my father?
I know not. 'Tis too bad. Too bad.
Yes, he was of that kind.
No marvel then, though he were not. 'Tis they have put him on the old man's death to cut the waste and spoil of his revenge. I have this present from my sister who is well informed of them, with such cautions that if they come to search my house, I'll not be there.
Nor I, surely, Regan. Edmund, I hear that you have shown your father a childlike office.
It was my duty, sir.
He did degrade his practice and received on his hurt, you see, striving to apprehend him.
Is he pursued?
Aye, sir.
Be taken. Shall never more be feared of doing harm. Make your purpose how in my strength you please. For you, Edmund, whose virtue and obedience doth this instant so much commend itself, you shall be ours. Natures of such deep trust we shall much need. You we first seize on.
Sir, I shall serve you truly, however else.
For you my thankful grace.
You know not why we keep visitors.
Thus out of season, ready for dark-eyed night. Occasions, noble Gloucester, some boys, wherein we must have use of your advice. Our father he hath writ, so hath our sister, differences, which I least thought it fit to answer from our home, the several messengers from hence attend dispatch. Our good old friend lay comfort to your bosom, to bestow your needful counsel to our business, to crave the news.
I serve you, madam. Your graces are right well.
done with you, art in this house? Where may we set our horses?
In the wood.
I prithee, if thou lovest me, tell me.
I love thee not.
Why then I care not for thee?
Philip, we had thee live very painful. We made thee care.
Why dost thou use me, thus who knows me not?
Philip, we knew thee.
What dost thou know me for?
And thee. A rascal, an eater of broken meats, a base, cruel, shallow, bigger, free-suited, hundred, filled, worsted, stoken, Lily, action taken, a glass case, superstars, critical rule, one chopping inheriting slave, one that was to be born in the way of good service, and another with the composition of a knave, beggar, coward, pander, soon an heir of a mongrel wretch! One who had baited a clamorous warning if there delays the least syllable of the edition.
Why, what a monstrous fellow art thou, thus to rail on one who has neither known thee nor knows thee!
What was the brazen-faced baron art thou to deny thou knowest me? Is it not 2 days ago since I tripped up the hills and beat thee before the king? Draw, rogue. For though it be night, yet the moon shines. I'll make a stop of the moon shine on ya! Draw! You horse and cuddly barbermonger! Draw!
Away, I'll have nothing to do with thee!
You come with letters against the take vanity the puppet's part against the royalty of our father. Draw, you rascal! Or so carving out of your shame! Draw your ass! Come your ways!
Help! I'm Lear! Help! Help!
Slave! Slave! What's the matter? What?
With you, good man, boy.
Come on, master. Let's go! We've seen better faces in my time that stands on any shoulder that I see before me at this instant.
This is some fellow who, having been praised for bluntness, does affect a saucy bluntness, and constrains the guard quite from his nature. He cannot flatter, he, an honest mind and brain, he must be true, and they'll take it. If not, he's plain. These kind of knaves I know, which in this plainness all the more craft and more corrupter ends in 20 silly ducking observants that stretch their duties nightly.
Sir, in good faith, in sincere vanity, under the allowance of your great aspect, whose influence, like the wreath of radiant fire on flickering Phoebus'
What?
We have no flatterer. He that beguiled you in a plain accent was a plain knave, which for my part I'll not be. Who I should win your displeasure to entreat me to him.
What was the offense you gave him?
I never gave him any. It pleased the king his master very late to strike at me upon his misconstruction. When he, flattering his displeasure, tripped me behind, beat down, railed, insulted, and put upon him such a deal of man that more than him got praises of the king, all for an attempting one who was self-subdued, and in the flashment of this dread exploit, drew from me here again.
These rogues and cowards that Ajax is their fool.
Fetch forth the stocks, you stubborn knave. You reverend brother, we'll teach you.
Sir, I'm too old to learn. Come on, your stokes for me. We serve a king, on whose employment I was sent to you. You shall do small respect, show too bold malice against the grace and person of my master, stoking his messenger.
Fetch forth the stocks. Shall have life and honor, there shall he sit till noon.
Till noon. Till night, my lords, and all night too.
What, man? If I were your father's duke, you should not use me so.
Serve me in his name, I will.
This is a fellow of the self-same color our sister speaks of. Come, bring away the stocks.
Let me beseech your grace not to do so. His fault is much, and the good king his master will check him for it. But your purpose of correction is such as basest and condemns treachery, for pilfering and other such common trespasses are punished with. The king must take it ill that he so slightly valued in his messenger should have him thus restrained.
I'll render that.
My sister may receive it much more worse, to have her gentleman abused, insulted, for following her affairs. What's in his legs? Come, my lord, away.
I'm sorry for you, Frank. The Duke's pleasure. All the world well knows. Will not be rough, no stop. I will entreat for you.
Pray do not, sir. We've watched and traveled hard. Sometime I shall sleep out, the rest, I'll whistle. A good man's fortune may grow out of tails. Keep a good morrow.
The Duke's to blame in this. Will be ill taken.
Good king, thou must approve the common saw. Thou, our heaven's benediction, comest to the warm sun. Approach, beak into this open globe, that by thy comfortable beams I may peruse this letter. Let the one who sees merit with little misery. And know it is from Cordelia, who hath most fortunately been informed of my obscure course, and shall find time in this enormous state, seeking to give losses their enemies. All weary and all watched, take vantage, heavy eyes, not to behold this shameful lodging. Fortune, good night. Smile once more. Turn thy wheel.
I heard myself proclaimed, and by the happy hollow of this tree escaped the hunt. No port is free, no place to guard, or most unusual vigilance does not attend my taking. Whilst I may escape, I will preserve myself, and am bethought to take the basest and most poor shape that ever penury and content of man brought near to beast. My face, all grimy with filth, blanket my loins, of all my hair in knots. And with presented nakedness, I'll face the winds and persecutions of the sky. The country gives me proof and precedent of bedroom beggars who with roaring voices strike in their numbed and mortified bare arms pins, wooden pricks, nails, sprigs of rosemary, and with this horrible object from low farms, poor pelting villages, sheep cots, mills, sometime with lunatic bands, sometime with prayers, enforce their charity. Poor Turleygood, poor Tom, there's something in it. Edgar, I'm nothing there.
It is strange that they should so depart from home and not send back to their
Hail to thee, frugal master.
Ha! Makes thou this shame that pastime?
No, my lord.
Where's cruel garters? Horses tied to the heads, dogs and bears by the neck, monkeys by the loins, and men by the legs. When a man's over lusty at legs, then he wears wooden leather stocks.
What's he that hath thy place so much mistook to set thee here?
It is both he and she, your soon and your man.
Yes. No, I say I. No, they would not.
Yes, they have.
I swear no.
By Juno, I swear I.
It does not do it. It could not, would not do it. It's worse than murder to transfix violent outrage. Resolve me with all modesty which way thou mightst deserve, for they impose this usage coming from us.
O Lord, when at our home I did commend your highness letters. Ere I was risen from the place of true went to me. Came there a reeking post, stood in his haste, half breathless, panting forth the roar of his mistress' salutations. Delivered letters, spite of intermission, which presently they read on whose countenance. They soon of their way, straight to horse, commanded me to follow and bade me attend the leisure their answer, gave me cool looks, and made me a other messenger, whose welcome I perceived had poisoned mine, being the very fellow that they displayed so sourcely against your highness, having more man than wit about me, true. He lays the house of loud and coward cries. Your son and daughter from this trespass worth the shame which here it suffers.
Which is not gone yet, the wild beasts fly that way. Fathers that wear rags do make their children blind, but fathers that wear bags shall see their children kind. Fortune that errant whore never turns her heed to poor. But for all this thou shalt have as many dolors for thy daughters as thou canst tell them a year.
Oh, his mother swells up toward my heart. Hysterica passio down, love, blind sorrow. Thy elements below.
Where is this daughter?
With the heirs, sir. Here with thee.
Follow me now. Stay here.
Noon. How chance the king grooms with so small a trade?
And thou hast been set in stocks for that question, thou hast well deserved it.
What fool?
Wilt set thee to school to an ant, to teach thee there's no laboring in the winter. All that follow their noses are led by their eyes, like blind men, and there's not a nose among 20 but can smell him that's stinking. Let go thy hole, while the great wheel rolls down the hill, lest it break thy neck with following it. But the great one that rolls up the hill, let him draw thee after. When a wise man gives thee better counsel, give me mine again. I would have none but knaves follow it, since a fool gives it. That so which serves and seeks for gain, and follows wrathful gloom, will hack when it begins to rain, and leave thee in the storm. But I will tarry, the fool will stay, and let the wise man fly. And the nature's fool runs away, the fool will
grown weary. They have traveled all night. Mere fetchers. The images of revolt and flying off. Fetch me a better answer. Dear Lord, you know the fiery quality of the Duke. How fixed and unmovable he is in his own course. Vengeance, blood, death, confusion, fiery. What quality? Why, Gloucester, I speak with the Duke of Cornwall's wife.
Well, my good lord, I should inform them so.
Inform them? Does someone understand me, man?
Aye.
The king would speak with Cornwall. The dear father would with his daughter speak, commands her service. My breath, blood, fiery. The fiery Duke. Tell the hot Duke that... No, not yet. Maybe he is not well. Infirmity does still neglect the office whereto my health is bound. Ourselves, when nature, being oppressed, commands the mind to suffer with the body. Forbear. Fallen out with my more headier will to take the indisposed and sickly fit for the sound man. Death on my state! Wherefore should he sit here? This act persuades me that this remotion of the Duke and her is practiced only. Give me my servant forth. Go tell the Duke and his wife I'd speak with them. Now, presently, bid them come forth and hear me. At their chamber door I'll beat the drum till it cry, sleep to death.
I would have all well interest you.
Oh me, my heart, my rising heart down.
Cry to an uncle as the cockney did to the eels. She put him in the paste alive. She knocked him over the coxcombs with a stick and cried, "Down, Martins, down!" 'Twas rather from your kindness to his horse about his head.
Good morrow to you, Lord.
I am glad to see your highness.
Regan, I think you are. For a reason I have to think so. Should not be glad I would divorce me from thy mother's tomb, so faltering and adultery. Go, are you free? Some other time for that. Beloved Regan, thy sister's not. O Regan, she at times sharp tooth and kindness. Like a vulture here. I can scarce speak to thee. Dost not believe without a depraved quality. O Regan.
I pray you, sir, she's patient. I have hoped you less know how to value her desert than she to stand her duty.
How is that?
I cannot think my sister in the least would fail for obligation. If, sir, perchance she have restrained the riots of her followers, 'tis on such ground and to such wholesome end as clears her from all blame.
My curses on them.
Oh, sir, you are old. Nature in you stands on the very verge of her confine. You should be ruled and led by some discretion, discerns your state better than you yourself. Therefore I pray that to our sister you do make return. Say you have wronged her, sirs.
Ask her forgiveness. Do you but cause of this becomes the house? Dear daughter, I confess that I am old. Age is unnecessary. On my knees I beg that you'll vouchsafe me raiment, bed, food.
Sir, no more. Some unsightly tricks. Return me to my sister.
There. She baited me half my train, black upon me, struck me with a tongue most serpent-like upon the very heart. All the stored vengeances of heaven, light on her ingrateful top. Strike her mountain bones, you taking heirs with lameness.
Fly, sir, fly!
You nimble lightnings, dart your blinding flames into her scornful eyes. Infect her beauty, you fence-up fogs, drawn by the powerful sun to fall and blast her pride.
Oh, blessed gods! So will you wish on me, when the rash new sing a song.
No, Regan, but you'll never have my curse. I tell the hefted nature shall not give thee over the harshness. Thou art fierce. Thine comfort to not burn. It's not in thee to grudge my pleasures, to cut off my train, to ban the hasty words, to scatter my sizes, and in conclusion to oppose the bold against my coming in. Thou better knowest the offices of nature, bonds of childhood, acts of courtesy, use of gratitude. I have the kingdom, thou hast not put heartburn I be endowed.
Good sir, to the purpose.
Who put my man in the stocks?
What drum is that?
I know, it's my sister's. This approves her letter, but she will soon be here. Is your lady come?
This is a slave whose easy borrowed pride dwells in the fickle grace of her. It follows out, bonnet, from my sight.
What means your grace?
Who stopped my servant? Regan, I have good hope that is not known. Who comes here? Oh heavens! If you do love all men, if your sweet sway allow obedience, if you yourselves are old, make it your cause, send down and take my part. Art not ashamed to look upon this beard, or even will you take it by the hand?
Why not by the hand, sir? How have I offended? All's not offense that indiscretion finds and dotage turns so.
Oh, Sarge, you are too tough. Will you yet? Oh! How came my man in the stocks?
I put him there, sir. But his own disorder deserved much less advancement.
You! Did you?
I pray you, Father, being weak seems so. If, till the expiration of your life, you will return and sober with my sister, dismissing half your train, come then to me. I am now from home and out of that provision. It shall be needful for your entertainment.
No. Rather, I abjure all roots and choose to wage against the enmity of the air, to be a comrade of the wolf and the owl, necessity's sharp pinch. Why, the hot-blooded France that doubtless took our youngest born. I could as well be brought to knee his throne and squire-like pension beg to keep base life afoot. Persuade me rather to be slave and sumpter to this detested groom.
At your choice, sir.
Prithee, daughter, don't make me mad. I will not trouble thee, my child. Farewell. No more meat, no more seawater. Yet thou art my flesh, daughter. Rather, a disease that's in my flesh, which I must needs call mine. A boil, a plague sore, an embossed carbuncle in my corrupted blood. Not shame. But shame cometh with life, you will call it? I do not bid the thunder bearer shoot, nor tell tales of thee the high judging Job, then will not cast. Be better dodger. I can be patient, I can stay with thee in my hand like 100 knights.
Not altogether. I do not fully yet. You are invited as welcome. Dear sir, to my sister, for those that mingle reason or passion must be attentive and behold. So, but she knows what she does.
Is this well spoken?
I dare vouch it, sir. What? $50. Is it not well? What
gave you all.
And in good time, King.
Made you my guardians, my depositors, but kept a reservation to be followed with such a number. What, must I come to you in 25 we can set you so?
Speak again, my lord. No more.
Those wicked creatures yet do look well favored when others are more wicked. Not being worse stands in some rank of praise. I'll go with thee. By 50, get the double 5 and 20, and thou art twice her love.
Hear me, my lord. What need you 5, 20, 10, or 5? In a house where twice so many have a command to send to you. What need one?
Oh, reason not the needy! Our basest beggars are the poorest things above the list. Allow not nature more than nature needs. Man's life's as cheap as bees. Thou art a lady, if only to go warm or gorgeous, why, nature needs not but thou gorgeous wares, which scarcely keeps thee warm. But for true beauty, you heavens, give me that patience I need. You see me, hear you gods. The poor old man was full of grief as age, wretched and woe. If it be you that stir these daughters' hearts against the bottom, for me not so much to bear it, Dame Honey. Touch me with a noble anger. Let not women's weapons water drops stain my man's cheeks. No, you are natural hags. I will have such revenges on you both that all the world shall. I will do such things, what they are yet I know not. But they shall be terrors of the earth. You think I'll weep? No, weep. I have full cause of weeping, for this heart shall break into 100,000 flaws. I weep.
Is the wind of the earth and the sea of
troubled waters above the main. These might change or cease. Tears his white hair, which he pesters with glass with eyeless rage. Catching that fury to make nothing of. And drives these little world events, storm that to and fro, conflicting wind and rain. I've gone there on the couch, the line of belly control keep ever dry. The body of he was invisible, take all.
Who's with him?
Ready to outcast the possibility.
If you know, thereupon the words of my note commended here. Here is the vision. Although the face of you has yet be covered by mutual cunning, it was Albany and Cornwall, who have and still have not, but for your stars spoken instead of service. You see no less. The charge of France spies and speculations, intelligence upon state. What hath been seen either in snuffs and packages of dukes, or the hard rain which both come born against the old kind of king, or something deeper, where perceptions are furnished. But true it is, from France there comes the power of the scattered people, who already, wise in our languages, have secret feet in some of our vast forests, and are at point to show their open banner. Now, if on my credit you dare those upon make your speech over, you shall find some that'll think, making just report how a natural and humanity sorrowing has lost the claim. I am a gentleman of blood and breeding, and from some knowledge and assurance offer this office to you.
I'll talk with you further.
No, do not. For confirmation that I am much more than my outlaw, open this first, and take what it contains. If you shall see Cordelia, fear not what you shall. Show her this ring, and she will tell you who your fellow is that gave you not know. Fire on the storm! Oh, go see me!
Give me your hand. Have you nothing more to say?
Little, but to effect more than all yet. That when you have found him, in which your name, that way, I will this. He that first lights on him, haul on the other!
No, I will be the pattern of all patience. I will say nothing. Who's there?
Mary, sir, here's reason upon me. That is to say, a wise man and a fool.
Alas, sir, are you here? Things that look like with no such tricks as these. The wrath of scories gather the very wonders of the dark and make them keep their caves. Since I was a man, such sheets of fire, bursts of horrid thunder, such groans of roar and wind and rain I never remembered of her. Man's nature cannot carry the affliction, nor the fear.
Let the great gods that keep this dreadful pother over our heads find out their enemies now. Tremble, thou wretch that hast within the unvulged crimes unwhipped of justice. Hide thee, thou bloody hand, thou perjured and simulant man of virtue that art incestuous. Kick him to pieces shake that under cover and convenient seeming cast practice on man's life. Close pent-up guilts within thee, writhe thy concealing countenance, and cry these dreadful summoners grace. I am a man more sinned against than sinning. Alack, beheaded. British food, hard by here the food. From Gloucester to get like this hired house, for a star the shoulder of his race. Return and force that standing courtesy. For which we can return. Come on, my boy. Come just my boy. I'm cold. I'm cold myself. Where's the straw? God, our necessities are strange, but we vile things precious. Come, you humble. Oh, fool and maid. I have one thought in my heart that's sorry yet for thee.
Let us be silent, and pay hold the wind and the rain, and live content with fortune's fit, pervaded in every day.
True, my good boy. Come bring us to this hall.
Great night to pull the courtesan. I'll speak prophecy ere I go. When priests are more in word than matter, when brewers lard the malt with water, no post-father kings teachers, no heretics burn to quench the sleep. Every place law is right, no squire no hope for night. Slaves do not live in tongues. Cut verses not in wrongs. The usurers calculable in the shall round about me come to great confusion. There comes a time when this is sweet. That Owen shall be sweet. Speak. This prophecy is the Merlin shall make. For I live before his time.
Alack, Edmund! Alack, not this unnatural. When I desired their leave that I might take pity on him, they took from me the use of my own house, and charged me on pain of perpetual displeasure, neither to speak of him, and treat for him, nor in any way sustain him.
Most savage and unnatural.
There is a division betwixt the dukes, and a worse matter than that. I received this night's letter, which is dangerous to be spoken in my heart and my father. These injuries the king now bears will be revenged at home, which ought to have already put him. We must incline to the king. I will go seek materially relief him. Go you and maintain talk with the duke that my charity be not of him received. So I may, if they ask me, I'm ill and gone to bed. Blind God, for his no less strength. The king, my master, must be the king. There's some strange thing toward it. Pray you. Be careful.
This courtesy, shall the Duke instantly know? And of that letter too. This seems a fair result, and must draw me that which my father loses, no less than all. The younger rises when the old doth fall.
Here's the place, my lord. Good my lord, enter it. The tyranny of the open night too My lord, enter here. Wilt break my heart? I'd rather break my own. My lord, enter. Thou think'st as much that this contentious storm invades us to the skin. So 'tis to thee, however great a malady is fixed, the lesser is scarce felt. Thou shun of air, but if thy flight lay toward the raging sea, thou beat the air in the mouth. When the mind's free, the body's delicate. The tempest in my mind doth from my senses take all feeling out, save what beats there. Feeling of ingratitude? Is it not as this mouth should tear this hand for lifting food to it? But I will punish home. No, I will weep no more. Such a night to shut me out. Pour on! I will endure. In such a night as this, O'Regan, Goneril, your old kind father whose frank heart gave you all. But wait, madness, hate. No more of that. Shun that. Goodbye, Lord. Enter here. Pray, go in thyself, seek thine own needs. This tempest will not give me leave to ponder on things that hurt me more. But I'll go in. In do I go first? May get me in. I'll pray. And then I'll sleep. Poor, naked wretches, where you are, that bide the pelting of this perilous storm. How shall your houseless heads and unfed sides, your looped and windowed raggedness, defend you in seasons such as these? Oh, I've taken too little care of this. Take physic upon, expose thyself to feel what the wretches feel, that thou mayst shape the superflux to them and show the heavens more just.
Fathom and half! Fathom and half! Poor Tom!
Oh, God! There's a spirit! Help me! Help me!
Give me your hand. Who's there?
A spirit! A spirit! His name is Lord Tom.
What art thou that is cruel in this scroll? Come forward!
Away! The foul fiend follows me! Through the hawthorn flows the cold winds. Cold tonight, cold bed warm thee.
Hast thou given all to thy two daughters, and have come to this?
Who gives anything to poor Tom, whom the foul fiend hath led through fire and through flame, ford and moor of poor, or bog and quagmire, and hath set knives under his pillow, and halters in his pew, put ratsbane by his porridge, made him proud of heart, to ride on the bay, trotting horse over forage, brigist court, his own shadow for a traitor. Lest that 5 wits succumbs. Bless thee from whirlwinds, star blasting and taking. To poor Tom some charity, whom the foul fiend vexes. Oh, there! Can I have him now?
What have his daughters brought him to this pass? Couldst thou say nothing? Didst give them more?
Hey, here is a blanket. Else we had been all shamed.
Now, all the plagues that in the pendulous air hang fated o'er men's sport, light on thy daughters!
We have no daughters there!
Nothing could have subdued nature to such aloneness but his unkind daughters. Father should have thus little mercy on their flesh. Judicious punishment. 'Twas this flesh begot those pelican daughters.
Philippa, Saturn, Philippa, halloo, halloo.
Cold light will turn us all into fools and madmen.
Take heed of the foul thing. Beg thy parents, keep thy word justly. Commit not with man's sworn spouse. Set not thy sweetheart on proud rein. Tongues are cold. Where hast thou been? A serving man, proud in heart and mind, that curled my hair, wore gloves in my cap, served the lust of my mistress' heart, and did the act of darkness with her, swore as many oaths as I spake words, and broke them in the sweet face of heaven. One that slept in the contrivance of lust, and waked to do it. Why loved I to dice dearly in women of paramour the Turk, false heart, lie to be a bloody of hand, hog in sloth, ox in stealth, love in greediness, dog in madness. Pray, let not the creaking of shoes, nor the rustling of silks betray thy poor heart to woman. Keep thy foot out of brothels, thy hand from plackets, and thy pen from lenders' books, and defy the foul fiend. Still, through the sharp hawthorn blows the cold wind, sing soon, whom hey no none. Don't remember the land of God. Why thou better in thy grave, than to answer the fire and not body this extremity of the skies. Is man no more? Consider him well. Thou hast worn no silk, the beast no hide, the sheep no wool, the cat no perfume. His threeness are sophisticated. Thou art the thing itself. Unaccommodated man is no more but such a poor, bare-forked animal as the hawk. You lemmings, come and come here.
Really, Knuckle, be contented. 'Tis a naughty night to swim in. And now a little fire in the wild field were like an old lecher's heart. A small spark, all the rest on spotty coals. Oh, look, here comes a walking fire. This is the foul thing! Liberty gates! He begins at curfew and walks to the first time. He gives the web and the pin and swims dry and makes the hair limp. Lives like weeds and hurts the poor creature of the earth. He wiggled with his price of wool and met the nightmare and her ninefolds. And her lights struck the plate. And arrive thee, Rich! Arrive thee! How fast your grace? What? Who's that? What is it you seek?
What are you? Your names?
Poor Tom that eats the swimming frog, the bones, the water, the toads, and the tadpole. In the fury of his heart, when the foul fiend rages, eats cow dung for salads, swallows the old rat and the ditch dog, and drinks the green mantle of the standing pool, who is wet from time to time, and imprisoned and stock punished. You had 3 shirts to his back, 6 suits to his body, horse to ride and weapon to wear. and mice and such small deer have been Tom's food for 7 long years. Oh, beware, my follower. Peace, thou smoking. Peace, thou fiend.
What? Hath your grace no better company than this?
The Prince of Darkness is a gentleman. Mortal, he's called, and Mahu.
Our flesh and blood has grown so vile that it doth hate what it gets.
Tom's cold.
Go in with me, my lord. My duty cannot suffer to obey your daughters and all their harsh commands. Though their injunction be to bar my doors and let this tyrannous night take hold upon you, yet have I ventured to seek you out and bring you where both fire and food is ready.
First, let me talk with this philosopher. What is the cause of thunder?
Good my lord, take his Uber. Go into the house.
I'll talk a word with this same learned Theban. What is your study?
How to prevent the fiends and to kill vermin.
Let me ask you one word in private.
Importuning was fortuna. His wits begun to unsettle.
Canst thou blame him? His daughters seek his death. Oh, the good king. He said it would be thus. Poor banished man. Says the king grows mad. Tell me, friend, I am almost mad myself. I had a son. I loved for my blood. I sought my life. But lately, very late, I loved him, friend. O father, a son dearer. Truth to tell thee, grief hath crazed my wits. What a night this! My lord, I do beseech you.
Oh, cry mercy, sir. Noble philosopher, your company.
Tom's a cold.
You fell to the level. Keep thee warm.
Come, let's in all.
Yes, we, my lord.
With him. I will keep still with my philosopher.
Good my lord. Let him take Philip.
Take him, you want.
Yeah, come on. Go along with us.
Come, good Athenian.
Child Roland to the dark tower came, and still his words were fire, foe, and fun. I smell the blood of a British man.
I will have my revenge ere I depart this house.
How, my lord, I may be sensuous if nature thus gives way to loyalty. Something fears me to think of.
You now perceive it was not altogether your brother's evil disposition who seek his death, but a provoking merit, set a work by your reprovable barrenness in himself.
How malicious is my fortune that I must repent to be just. This is the letter he spoke of, which confirms an intelligent party to the advantage of France. Oh, heavens, that this treason were not I its detector.
Go with me to the Duchess.
If the matter of this letter be certain, you have a mighty business in hand.
True or false, it hath made the Earl of Gloucester. Seek out where thy father is, that he may be ready for our apprehension.
If I can comfort the king, it will stop his suspicion of my I will persevere in the course of my lord, though its conflict be sore between that and my blood.
And will they trust upon me? I will find a dearer father in my lord.
Here is best for the open air. Take it. Thank you. I'll piece out the comfort of what addition I can. I will not be long from it.
All the floor of its wits have given way to his impatience. You go through order next.
Retro calls me and tells me Nero is an angler in the lake of darkness. Pray, innocent, and defy the foul fiend.
Ferdinand, tell me whether a madman be a gentleman or a human.
A king.
No! He's a human that is a gentleman to his son. He's a mad human that sees his son a gentleman before him.
To have 1,000 with red burning Sit thou here, most learned justice. Thou, sapient sinner, sit here. Now, you she-fox.
Look where he stands and glares. Wantest thou eyes at trial, madam?
Come on, that's and she mustn't speak, why she dares not come over to thee.
The foul thing harks poor Tom in the voice of a nightingale. Oh, hot dance cries in Tom's belly, too white herring. Croak not, black angel, I have no food for thee.
Do you, sir? Stand you for me. We will lie down and rest on the cushions. I'll see their trial first. Bring in the evidence. Thou robed man of justice, take thy place. Thou, is your fellow to be benched by his side? You're the commission, said you do.
We shall deal justly. Sleepest or wakest thou, jolly shepherd? Thy sheep be in the corn, but for the winking of thy minikin mouth, thy sheep shall take no harm.
Purr! The cat is grey! Parade of this! 'Tis honourable. Here I take my oath before this honourable assembly. Shakespeare, before king, my father.
Call him a mistress. Is thy name Goneril?
She cannot deny it.
Christ mercy, I took you for a joint stool.
And here's another, whose warped looks proclaim what store her heart is made of. Stop it! Arms! Sword! Fire! Corruption in the place! False justice, sir! Wires down there!
Less thy 5 wits, it's in. Where's the patience now which so oft your growth to retain? My tears begin to take its part too much. They'll mar my counterfeiting. The little dog, Claw. Turn with attention. Her sweet, unseen.
Tom will shake his head at them! A bunch you curs! Be that note! A black or white! Tooth and poisons in it bite! A mastiff greyhound, mongrel, grim! Hound or spaniel! Brat or limb! Harmonier! Bobtail, tight or trundle tail! Tongue shall make them weep and wail! Well, for with the throwing of my hand, dogs leap the hatch, and all bread
Come, march to market towns, lakes, and fairs. Poor Tom, thy horn is dry.
Then let them imagine life, Regan. See what frees in our heart. Is there any cause in nature that makes these hard hearts? You, sir, I entertain for one of my 100. Only I do not like the fashion of your garments. You will say they are Persian attire. Let them be changed. Now, my lord, lie here and rest on the cushions. Make no noise, make no noise. Go ahead. We'll go to supper in the morning.
Niall goes to bed at noon.
Give me the fact.
Here, sir. What trouble in the note? His wits are gone.
When they've taken in thy arms, I have ordered a death upon his head. There's a litter ready. Lay him in it and drive toward Lower Fenlaw, where thou shalt meet both welcome and protection. Take up thy master. If thou shouldst dally half an hour, his life with thine, and all that offer to defend him,
the balm that broken sinews, which if convenience will not allow stand in hard cure. Help to bear thy master. Thou must not stay behind.
Away.
When we our better see, bearing our woes, we scarcely think our miseries are foes. Who alone suffers most to the mind, leaving free things and happy shows behind. But then the mind much sufferance doth o'erskip, when grief hath mates and bearing fellowship. How light and portable my pain seems now, when that which makes me bend makes the king bow. He childed as I fathered, now tone away, mark the high noise and thyself bewray. When false opinion, whose wrong thought defiles thee, and thy just proof repeals and reconciles thee, what else hap tonight? Safe 'scape the king. Lurk, lurk.
Most speedily, my lord your husband, show me this letter. The army of France is landed. Seek out the traitor Gloucester.
Take him instantly. Look out, eyes.
Edmund, keep your eyes clear. The revenge of our bound to take upon your traitors, father, and our 50-year-old. But if you where you are going with most best in preparation, we are bound to the light. Our post shall be swift and intelligent to great service. Farewell, dear sister. Farewell, my lord of Gloucester.
How now, where's the king? My lord of Gloucester hath conveyed him hence. Some 5 or 6 and 30 of his knights, hot questers after men at gate, who with some other of the lords of dependents are gone towards Dover, where they both have well-armed friends.
Get horses for your mistress!
Farewell, Seymour. Sister?
Edmund, farewell. Seek out the traitor Gloucester! Hating him like a thief, bring him before us! Well, we may not pass upon his life without the formal justice. There's not a power shall go to our wrath, which men may blame but not control. Who's there? The traitor?
Ungrateful fox.
Bind fast his corky arms.
What mean your graces? Do consider, friends. You are my guests. Do me no foul play, friends.
Bind him, I say.
Hard. Hard. Oh, filthy traitor!
Merciful ladies, arm! To this chair bind him. Villain, thou shalt.
What kind gods to be only done to pluck me by the beard?
So white and such a traitor!
Naughty lady, these hairs which thou dost ravish from my chamber, quicken and accuse thee. I am your host. With robbers as my hospitable favors, you should not ruffle us. What will you do?
Come, sir. What letters have you laid from France?
These simple answers know the truth.
And what confederacy have you with the traitors laid footed in the key?
To whose hands have you sent lunatic king? Speak!
I have a letter guessingly set down, from one that's of a neutral heart and not from one of both.
Cunning.
And false.
Where hast thou sent the king?
To go.
Wherefore to Dover? Wouldst thou not
Wherefore to Dover? Let him first answer that.
I am tied to the stake and I must stand before us.
Wherefore to Dover?
Because I would not see thy cruel nails pluck out his poor old eyes, nor thy fierce sister in his anointed flesh dig boorish fangs. The sea, with such a storm as his bare-headed, hell-black knight endured, would have buoyed up and quenched the stellar fires. But poor old heart, he hoped the heavens to rain. The wolves that gave howl that stern time, thou shouldst have said, good porter, turn the key. All cruel zealous subscribe. but I shall see the winged vengeance overtake such children.
See it thou shalt. Philip, move the chair. Upon these eyes of thine all set faces, you will be good until you don't give me some help. I'm holding you again! Ah! Ah! Ah!
One side will look another. The other two.
If you seek vengeance,
Hold your hand, my lord. I have served you ever since as a child. What better service have I never done you than now to bid you hold?
Now, you dog!
If you didn't wear a beard upon your chin, I'd shake on this quarrel. What do you mean?
feel it.
Nay then, come on and take the chance of anger. Give me my sword!
I am slain. My lord, you still have one eye to see some mischief on him.
Seymour, prevent it! Out! Fire! Johnny! Where's my husband now?
Oh, God, rememberless. Where's my son, Edmund? Edmund! And give to the spots of nature to quit this horrid act.
Out, treacherous man. Thou callest on him that hates thee. It was he that made the overture of thy treasons to us. I was too good to pity.
No, my follies. And Edgar was abused. Kind God forgive me that and prosper.
Go for some advocates, and let him smell his way to Dover. How is it, my lord? How look you?
Follow me. Turn out that eyeless feeling! Fill that slave upon the dunghill! Lead a pace!
She shall live till she be old. And in the end, meet the old course of death. Women will all turn monsters.
I think the pendulum is being more good. He broke his man's life.
Go now. I'll fetch some flax and white spaghetti to apply to his bleeding face. Now heaven help him.
Yet better thus, and known to be contemned, than still contemned and flattered. To be worst, the lowest, and most dejected thing of fortune, stands still in esperance, lives not in fear. The lamentable change is from the best, the worst returns to laughter. Welcome then, thou unsubstantial air that I embrace. The wretch that thou hast blown into the worst owes nothing to thy blasts. But who comes here? Oh. My father. poorly led. The world, that thy strange mutations make us hate thee. Life would not yield to age.
My good lord, I've been your tenant, your father's tenant these 80 years.
When? Get thee away and be gone. My comforts can do me no good at all. Indeed, they may hurt.
That, sir, cannot see your way.
I have no way, and therefore want no eyes. I stumbled when I saw full off to seem. Our means secure us, but our mere defects prove our commodities. Dear son Edgar, the food of thy abused father's wrath, might I but live to see thee in my touch, and say I have asked thee.
Who is can say, I am at the worst. I am worse than e'er I was.
Oh no, who's there?
The beggar fellow.
Oh, aye, 'tis poor man Tom.
Then worse I may be yet. The worst is not so long as we can say, this is the worst.
Fellow, where goest?
He has some reason, else he could not beg. In the last nice storm I such a fellow saw, and then made me think, a man a worm. My son Edgar then came to my mind, and yet my mind was then scarce friends with him. I have heard more since. As flies to wanton boys, so are we to the gods. They kill us for their spot!
How may this be? Bad is betrayed that must play a fool to sorrow, angering itself in others. Bless thee, master.
Is that the naked fellow? Aye, my lord. And prithee, get thee away, if for my sake. Thou wilt overtake us hence a mile twain road towards Dover. Do it for ancient cloud, and bring some covering for this naked wretch, who I'll entreat to leave me.
What, sir? He's mad!
'Tis the time's plagues when madmen comply. Now do thy bid thee, or rather, do thy pleasure, while the rest be gone.
Bring the best girl that I have. One which will.
Sirrah, naked fellow.
Oh, poor Tom's the cold. I cannot dob it further.
Come hither, fellow.
And yet I must. Bless thy sweet eyes. They bleed.
Knowest thou the way toward Dover?
Both stile and gate, horseway and footpath. Poor Tom hath been scared out of his good wits. Bless thee, good man's son, from the foul fiend. 5 fiends have been in Tom at once, of lust as of a bigot, Papinidins, prince of dumbness, Mahu of stealing, Modo of murder, Flibbertigibbet of mopping and mowing, who since possesses chambermaids and waiting women. Oh, master.
Here, take this purse, thou whom heaven's plagues have humbled to all strokes. That I am wretched makes thee happier. Heavens, deal so still. Let the superfluous and lust die to man that slays your ornaments, that will not see because he doth not feel. Feel your power quickly. Such a distribution unto excess, and each man have enough. Knowest thou Dover?
Aye, master.
There is a cliff whose high and bending head looks fearfully and confining deep. Bring me but to the very brim of it, and I'll repair the misery thou dost bear with something rich above me. From that place I shall know thee indeed.
Give me thy hand. Poor Tom shall lead thee.
of Gloucester's treachery and of the loyal service of his son, when I informed him that he called me soft and told me I had turned the wrong side out. What most he should dislike seemed pleasant to him. What like offensive?
Then shall you go no further. This coward terror of his disposition that dares not undertake. He'll not feel wronged which time to answer. But our wishes on the way may prove effects. Back, Edmund, my brother. Hasten his master and conduct him. I must change arms at home and give the distaff to my hands. This trusty servant shall pass between us. Ere long, you are like to hear, if you dare, venture to your own path. The mistress of man. Wear this. Spare speech. Define your eyes. This kiss, vivid speech, would stretch thy spirits up into the air. Conceive, and fare thee well.
Yours for the rest of death.
My most dear Gloucester, to thee a woman's services return. The difference of man and man. Fool usurps my body.
Madam, here comes my lord.
I have been worth a whistle.
Oh, God, you are not worth the dust which the rude wind blows in your face. I fear your disposition. That nature which contends its origin cannot be born of certain in itself. She that herself will sliver and scratch when the material sap the force was wither. And deadly use.
No more. Text is foolish.
Wisdom and goodness to the vile, seem vile. Filths, savor but themselves. What have you done? Tyrants, not daughters. What have you performed? A father and a gracious aged man, whose reverence even the headless bear would live. Most barbarous, most degenerate have you married. Would my good brother suffer you to do it? A man, a prince, by him so benefited. If that the heavens do not their visible spirits send quickly down to tame these vile offenses, it will come. Man perforce must prey on itself like monsters of the deep.
Milk-livered man that bears your sheep for blows ahead to wrongs. Was not my brown eye discerning thine honor when I suffer that not noticed. Fools to those villains pity who are punished ere they have done their mischief. Where's thy drum? France spreads his banner in our noiseless land. Plumed helm thy state against his threats. Whilst thou, poor fool, sit still in France. Alas, why does he so?
See thyself, devil. Proper deformity seems not in the fiend so horrid as in woman.
Think,
Changing the self-covered thing for shame. Be monster not thy feature. Were it my fitness to let these hands obey my blood, they are apt to dislocate and tear thy flesh and bones. However, thou art a fiend, woman's shaped as shield be.
man, you're mad.
What news?
Oh, good my lord. The Duke of Cornwall's dead, slain by his servant, going to put out the other eye of Gloucester.
Gloucester's eyes?
A servant that he bred, thrilled with remorse, opposed against the act, bending his sword towards his great master, who there enraged flew on him, and amongst them fell him dead, but not without that harmful stroke, which since hath plucked him after.
This shows you are above, you justices. But these are never crimes so speedily avenged. But, oh, poor Gloucester, lost he his other eye?
Both, my lord. This latter matter craves a speedy answer, just from your sister.
One way I like this well. Being widow, my dear Gloucester wither, the building of my fancy pluck upon my native life. Another way, since it's not so hard, I'll read and answer.
Where was his son when they did take his eyes? Come with my lady hither. He is not here.
No, my good lord. I met him back again.
Knows he the wickedness?
Aye, my lord. Because he informed against it, and quit the house on purpose, that punishment might have fear of course.
Gloucester, I live to thank thee for the love thou showedst the king, and to revenge thine eyes. Come hither, friend. Tell me more what thou knowest.
Why the king of France so suddenly got back?
Something he left in perfect mistake, which sends his coming forth his thigh. What is the kingdom? So much fear of danger. His personal return was most required and necessary.
Who had he left behind in general?
Marshal the Prince, Monsieur the Fawn.
Your letters gave sweet and any demonstration of grief.
I see. She took them in my presence. Now and then a tear trilled down her delicate cheek. So she was queen over her passion, and most rebel-like sought to be king over her.
Then it moved him.
Not to a rage. Patience and sorrow strove to express her goodness. You've seen sunshine and rain at once. Smiles and tears were like a better way. His happy smiles and played on the ripe lips, and not to know what guess with her eyes. Which parted thence as pearls from diamonds dropped. Sorrow would be a rarity most beloved, if all should so become it.
Did she no verbal question?
Once or twice she heaved the name Father, panting forth as though oppressed her heart. Cried, Sisters, sisters, shame of ladies, sisters. Kent, Father, sisters, what in the storm and the night? But pity not for the leader. There she shook the holy water from heavenly eyes and crowned once. The way she started to deal with grief alone.
'Tis the stars above us govern our conditions. Else one self-made and made could not beget such dim issue. You spoke not with their sense.
No,
Was this before the king returned?
no, sis.
Well, the poor distressed Lears in the town, who sometime in his better tune remembers what we are come about, and will by no means yield to see his daughter. His sovereign shame so elbows him, his own unkindness, that stripped her from his benediction, turned her before in casualties, gave her dear rights to his dog-hearted daughters. These things sting his mind so venomously that burning shame detains him from Cordelia.
Lack, which
Of Albany and Cornwall's powers heard you not.
Tis so, they are first.
Well, sir, I'll lead you to our master Lear.
Black. Tis he. He was met and now he's mad as the becks of sea, singing aloud. My future, bones, not metals, flower, darnel. Oh, idly thrown on sustaining corn. A century sent forth, so never ache in our high-grown fields and bring to our eye. Man's wisdom in the restoring his breathing sense. Even helps to take all my outward work.
There is need, madam. Posthumous nature deposed. How is she that? Thou should broken into their many civil documents, whose power will close the affidavit.
All blessed secrets. All you unpublished virtues fear. Spring with virtues. The agent and remediate in the good man's distress. Oh, seek for him, lest his ungoverned rage dissolve the life that once means to lead it.
News, madam. The British powers march on the door.
'Tis known before. A preparation stands in expectation of them. Oh, dear father, it is thy business that I go about. For great France, my mourning and important tears hath pitied. No blown ambition doth our arms incite, but love, dear love, and our aged father's right. Soon may I hear him sing.
But are my brother's powers set forth?
Yes, ma'am.
Himself in person there?
No, not.
Lord Edmund spake not with your lord.
No.
What might import my sister's letter?
I know not.
Faith, he was posted hence a serious matter. Those great ignorance, Gloucester's eyes being out to let him live. Where he arrives, he moves all hearts against us. Edmund, I think, is gone, to pity his misery, to dispatch his knight of life, moreover, to describe his rank of the enemy.
I must needs after you, madam, with my letter.
I thought to set forth tomorrow. Stay with us. The way
I may not, madam. My lady charged my duty to this business.
Why should she write you then? Might not you transport your purposes by bird? Might something, I know not what. How love you much. Then you conceal the letter.
Madam, I had rather...
I know your lady does not want a husband. I am sure of that. But your late being here, she gave strange ideas, most seeking looks. I know you are not her person.
I, madam?
Sandy, you are. I know it. Therefore, I do advise you, take this note. My lord is dead, Edmund and I have talked. The more convenient is for my end, for the ladies. You may get her. You find you pray this. And when your mistress hears thus much from you, I pray, desire her to call for wisdom to her. So, there you have it. If you chance to find that blind traitor, preferably to royals on him that cups him off.
What I could do, madam, I should show part of my power.
There you have.
Shall we come to the top of that same hill?
We do climb up it now. Look how we labor.
Methinks the ground is even.
Horrible steep. Hark! Do you hear the sea?
Yeah, true.
Why then, your other senses grow imperfect by your eyes' anguish.
So may it be indeed. For methinks thy voice is altered, and thou speakest in better phrase and manner than thou didst.
Thou art much mistaken, and nothing in my change, but in my garments.
Methinks you're better spoken.
Here's the place. Come on, sir. Stand still. How fearful and dizzy 'tis to cast one's eyes so low. The crows and choughs that wing the midway air show scarce so gross as beetles. Halfway down hangs one that gathers samphire, dreadful trade. Methinks he seems no bigger than his head. And fishermen that walk along the beach appear like mice, and yon tall anchoring bark, diminished to her cock her buoy almost too small for sight. The murmuring surge that on the unnumbered idle pebbles chafes cannot be heard. I'll look no more, lest my brain turn into deficient sight topple down headlong.
Set me where you stand.
You are now within a foot of that extremest verge, for all beneath the world would I not leave upright.
Let go my hand.
Here, friends, another curse. You need to do a well worth the poor man's taking. Fairies and gods prosper with them. Bid me farewell and go thou further off. Let me hear you're going.
Very well, good sir.
With all my heart.
Why do I trifle thus with his despair? Is done to cure it.
Oh, you mighty gods, this world I do renounce, and in your sight shake patiently this great affliction off. If I could bear longer, and not fall to grow with your great opposer's wills, my snuff and loathed part of life should burn itself out. If Edgar lives, oh bless him. Now, fellow, fare thee well.
Very well, good sir. And yet, I know not how conceit may rob the treasury of life when life itself yields to the theft. Had he been where he thought, by this had thought been past. Oh, you, sir! Friend, sir! Speak you, sir!
Obey, and let me die.
Hast thou been aught but gossamer, feathers, air, so many fathoms down precipitating? Thou shivered like an egg, but thou dost feel, dost breathe, speaks, hast heavy substance? Speak yet again, thy life's miracle.
But have I fallen or no?
From that dread son of the chalky board, do but look up a height. The shrill gorged lark cannot be seen or heard, do but look up.
Back! I have no eyes. Is wretchedness deprived of that benefit to end itself by death? There's yet some comfort when misery could beguile the tyrant's rage and frustrate his proud will.
Come on, sir. Up so. Feeling your legs, you stand.
Too well.
Too well. This is above all strangeness. Upon the crown of the cliff, what thing was that which parted from you?
A poor unfortunate beggar.
Methinks his eyes were two full moons. He had 1,000 noses, horns, waved and whelped like the enraged sea. It was some fiend! Therefore, think then, O happy Father, that the gods who make them honors of men's impossibilities have preserved thee.
Remember now. Henceforth, I'll bear affliction till it cry out itself, enough, enough, and die. The thing you speak of, I took it for a man, though oft would say, the fiend, the fiend. It was he that led me to this place.
There are three impatient thoughts. But who comes here? The sacred sense will never accommodate his master thus.
No, that cannot touch me for coining. I am the king himself.
Without sight, piercing sight.
Nature's above all, without respect. There's your breast money. That fellow handles his bow like a crow keeper. Draw me a clothier's yard. Look, look, a mouse. Peace, peace. Yes, peace. Toasted cheese. There's my gauntlet. I'll prove it on a giant. Bring up the round girls. Oh, well flown bird! In the cloud! In the cloud! Give the word!
Sweet marjoram.
Yes!
No.
Goneril with a white beard! Oh! They flattered me like a dog and told me I had white hairs and my beard had the black ones over there. Say I will to everything I said I will to is no good divinity. And the rain came to wet me once. The wind made me scatter. When the thunder would not peace at my bidding, there I found them. There I smoked them out. No, too. They are not men of their words. They told me I was everything. Lie. I'm not you proof.
The trick of that voice I do well remember. Is it not the king?
Aye, every inch. The king. But I was scared. See how the subject quakes. I thought when the night. What was I caused? Adultery? I shall not die. Die for adultery? No! There end goes to it. The small gilded fly does a letter in my sight. Let copulation thrive! For Gloucester's bastard son was kinder to his father than my daughters. Got sheets. To it luxury pell-mell, for I lack soldiers. Oh, yon simpering day, whose face between the forks presages snow. The nymphs' virtues shake the head. Here, pleasure's name. Fish. Nor the soiled horse goes to it with a more riotous appetite. Down from the waist, there are centaurs, oh, women all above. Only to the girdle that the gods inherit. Beneath is all the fiends. There's hell. There's darkness. There's a sulphurous pit burning, scalding, stench, consumption. Give me an ounce, silly, good mother, to sweeten my imagination. There's many about me.
You kiss that hand.
Let me wipe it. It's smelled. Mortality.
Ruined piece of nature. This great world shall so wear out to naught. Dost thou know me?
I remember thine eyes well enough. Dost thou swing at me? No, do thy best. I am not love. Breathe out this challenge. Come on, the penning of it.
Were all the letters sons, I could not read one.
I would not take this from report. It is, and my heart breaks at it.
Read! What? With the case of eyes?
Oh, are you there with me? No eyes in your head, no money in your purse. Your eyes are in a heavy case. Your purse in the light. You see how this will go.
I see it. You.
But a man may see how this will goes without eyes. Look within ears. Behold, how yon simple justice rails upon yon simple thief. Hearken thine ear. Change places. And handy, which is the justice? Which the thief? Thou'st seen the farmer's dog barking a beggar.
Aye, sir.
And the creature run from the curb. There, thou mightst behold the great image of authority. A dog's obeyed in office. Rascal, behold. Hold thy bloody hand. Why dost thou lash and whore? Strip thine own back. Thou heartly lust user in that kind for which thou whipp'st her. The user a hand cozener. The tattered clothes, small prices of beer, robes and fur gowns high wore, plates sin with gold, and the strong lance of justice hurtless breaks. Armored in rags, a pygmy's straw does pierce it. None does avail. None, I say none. How able one? Take that of me who have the power to seal the accuser's lips. Get thee glass eyes, like a scurvy politician, seem to see, but things thou dost not. Now. Holophants. Harder! So.
Matter and impertinency mixed, reason and madness.
If thou wilt weep my fortunes, take my eyes. I know thee well enough. Thy name is Gloucester. Thou must be patient. We came crying hither. Thou knowest, the first time that we smelt the air, we wailed and cried. 3 days of fools! That's a good block. It were a delicate stratagem to shoe a troop of whores with felt. I'll put it in proof. When I stolen upon his son-in-laws and kill. No rescue, a prisoner. I'm even a natural fool of fortune. Use me well. We shall have ransom. And we have surgeons. I'm captain of brains.
You shall have anything.
No step. All myself. Why does it make a man another sort? His eyes upon washed outside, laying autumn's dust.
Good sir.
I'm not bravery like a smart bridegroom, but I will be jovial. Come, I am a king, my master. Look at that.
You are a royal one. We obey you.
And there's life in it. Hey. And yet, here's some gallant running.
Sight most pitiful in this wretch. Speaking of it, a king, thou hast one daughter whom nature redeems from the general curse which twain have brought her to.
Hail, gentle sir.
Sir Will.
Do you hear aught, sir, of a battle toward?
No sure, Wilhelm. Only to hear that which distinguished sound.
Goodbye or favor. How near is the other army?
Near, and speedy on foot. Make the stride speeds the hour of thought.
Thank you, sir. That's all.
The Queen under special causes here, her army is moved on.
Thank you.
Oh, you kind God, take away my breath from me, and let not my worthless spirit tempt me again to die before you, please.
Well, pray you, Father.
Now, sir, what are you?
A most poor man, maintained to fortune's blows, who by the art of knowing and feeling sorrow, and pregnant to good pity. Give me that hand, Father. I'll bestow you with some biting.
Hearty thanks. The bounty and benison of heaven to boot and boot.
A proclaimed prize. Most happy. That eyeless head of thine was first framed flesh to raise my fortunes. Thou old unhappy traitor, briefly thyself remember. The sword is out, thou must destroy it.
Oh, let thy friendly hand put strength enough to it.
Wherefore, old peasant, darest thou support a published traitor? Hence, lest that the infection of his fortune take like hold on thee. Let go thy arm. Shall not let go, sir, not that bird occasion. Let go, slave, or thou diest. Good gentlemen, go you gate, and let poor folk pass, and should I have been swaggered out of my life, 'tis not as much as 'tis by a fortnight. Nay, come not near the old gentleman, keep out your boy ear, or else try whether thy cost of me battle be the harder, shall be plain with you. Out, downhill! take my purse. If ever thou wilt thrive, bury my body. And give the letters which thou findest about me to Edmund, Earl of Gloucester. Seek him out upon the British party. Oh, untimely death. I know thee well, a serviceable villain, as duteous to the vices of thy mistress as badness would desire.
What, is he dead?
Sit you down, father. Rest you. Let's see these papers. See these pockets. The papers that he speaks of may be my friends. Gentle wax, and manners blame us not. To know our enemies' minds, we rip their hearts. Their papers is more lawful. Let our reciprocal vows be remembered. You have many opportunities to cut him off. If your will want not, time and place will be fruitfully offered. If he return the victor, then am I the prisoner and his bed my jail. From the loathed warmth whereof, deliver me, and supply the place for your labor. Your wife, so I would say, affectionate servant Goneril. Indistinguished space of woman's will, a plot upon a virtuous husband's life, and the reward, my brother. Here in the sands, thee I'll rake up, the posts unsanctified of murderous leisures, and in the mature time, with this paper, strike the sight of the death-practiced duke. Of him 'tis well that of thy death and business I can tell.
The king is mad. How stiff is my vile sense that I stand and having genuine feeling of my huge sorrows. That's why I will distract. So should thoughts be severed from griefs, and woes by wrong imaginations lose the knowledge of themselves.
Give me your hand. I'll bestow you. You got a hand. Far off methinks I hear the beating drum.
Oh, thou good Kent, how shall I live and work to match thy goodness? My life will be too short, and every measure fail me.
To be acknowledged, madam, is okay. All my reports go with modest truth. No more nor clipped, but so.
Better suit you. And these leaves are memories worse for hours. I prithee, put them off.
Pardon me, dear madam, but to be known short is my lady intent. My good I may that you know me not, till time not be beat.
Then be it so, my good lord. How does it be?
Better still.
Oh, kind thoughts. Only spring regions of music nature. The unholy, jarring senses. The wind up of this child changing father.
We think your majesty that we may wait for the king. Yes, but long.
Bound by your knowledge, and perceive the sway of your own will. Sway.
Goodbye, your majesty. We will wait with the arms to
Very well.
please you, draw near. Down the music there.
Oh, my dear father. Restoration. Keep my medicine on my lips. And let this kiss repair the broken hearts of my two sisters. Have in that reverence name. I do not need your father. Please return into me. opposed against the warring winds, to stand against the deep, dreadful defense, the most terrible and nimble stroke of cross lightning, to watch, or to do, weakness and help. Find at least dog that would be fit, should have stood that night against my fire, and was now praying upon God to hold me, and swine, and those poor, but short, musty, strong, laughing, wonders that thy life and the wits of once had not included all. Rest, Satan.
Madam,
Oh, that's my royal lord. There's your highness.
You do me wrong. Pull me out of the grave. Powerless. But I am bound upon a wheel of fire. Mine own tears to scald like molten lead.
Sir, you know me.
You're a spirit, I know. When did you die?
Still far wide.
too low, Mom. Guess later.
Where have I been? That hero? I might be abused. I should even die to this in none of us. I don't know what to say. I swear it's my hands. Feel this pin-prick. When I want to share with my foolish.
Oh, look at me, sir. What has conviction or... Oh, no, sir, you must not kneel.
Pray do not mock me. I'm a very foolish, fond old man. Fourscore upward. No, more or less. Feel plainly. I fear I'm not in my perfect mind. Methinks I should know you, know this man. Yet I'm doubtful. I'm mainly ignorant. What place this is? No skill I have. Remember, it's not used garments. Nor I know where I just lodged last night. Do not laugh at me. Because I'm a man. I think this lady will be my child.
I am.
Be your tears wet? Yes, faith. Not praying, weep not. Thou hast poison for me, I will drink. I know you do not love me. For your sisters have, as I do remember, done me wrong. You have some cause. They have not.
No cause. No cause.
My friends,
Your own kingdom, sir.
do not abuse me.
Comforted, madam. The great rage she's killed in him. Yet it is danger to make him even all the time of his lost. Desire him to go in, but will him no more until the settling.
Will it please your highness walk?
I must bear with me. Pray now. Again. I'm old.
Most certain, sir. As 'tis said, the bastard son of Gloucester.
To say Edward's banished sons and with the Earl of Kent in Germany.
Report is changeable. It is time to look about. The powers of the kingdom approach apace.
Farewell, sir.
My point and period will be thoroughly wrought, or well, or ill, as this day's battle.
be dazzled.
Now, sweet Lord, you know the goodness of his hand upon you. Tell me truly, do you not love my sister?
In honor to love.
But have you never found my brother's way to the offended place?
That thought abuses you.
I am doubtful that you have been conjunct and bosomed with her as far as we call hers.
No, by mine honor, madam.
I never shall endure her. Dear my lord, be not familiar with her.
Fear not. She and the Duke of
Rather lose the battle than that sister should loosen him and me.
Our very loving sister, well be met. Sir, this I hear. The king has come to his daughter, with others whom the rigor of our state forced to cry out. Where I could not be honest, I never yet was valiant, for this business it toucheth us. As France invades our land, not opposed the king, with others whom I fear, most just and heavy causes make oppose.
Sir, you speak nobly.
Why is this reason? Combine together against him. Please, take the domestic broils. And on the question here.
Let's then determine with the ancient war on our proceedings.
I shall attend you presently afterwards.
Sister, you'll go with us. 'Tis most convenient. Pray, go with us.
I know the riddle. I will go.
If e'er your grace had speech with man so poor, hear me one word.
I'll overtake you. Speak.
Before you fight the battle, hope this letter. If you have victory, let the trumpet sound for him that brought it. Wretched though I seem, I can produce a champion who will prove what is about you there. If your business ceases, your business around the world hath so end, and machination ends. Very well.
Stay, till I have read the letter.
I once forbid it. Let but the trumpet sounds, and all appear again.
Why, fairly well. I will overlook that case.
The enemies in view, draw up your powers. Here is the guess of their true strength and forces, by diligent discovery. But your haste is now urged to me.
You will brief the time.
Both these sisters have sworn my love, each jealous of the other as the stung are of the adder. Which of them shall I take? Both? One? Neither? Neither can be enjoyed if both remain alive. To take the widow exasperates makes mad Sister Goneril. And hardly shall I carry out my side, husband being alive. Well then, we'll use his countenance for the matter. Which being done, let her who would be rid of him devise his speedy taking. As for mercy, which he intends to Lear, to Cordelia, the battle ordered within our power shall never see his mercy. For my state stands on me to defend, not to debate.
Dear Father, take the shadow of this great tree for your good host. Pray that right may thrive. If ever I return again, I'll bring you comfort.
Grace go with you.
Away! Away, old man! He liveth lost. He and his daughter taken away.
No further, sir. Men may rot in here.
What? In ill thoughts again? Man must endure his going hence, even as his coming hither. Come on.
And that's true too.
Some officers take them away, good guard, until their greater pledges first be known, that ought to sanction them.
We are not the first, who with best meaning have incurred the worst. For the oppressive king I cast down, myself could also frown whilst fortune's frown. Shall we not see these daughters and these sisters?
No. No, no, no. Come, let's away to prison. Oh, we two alone will sing like birds in the cave. Ask me blessing, I'll kneel down, and there will be forgiveness. So will live. We pray and sing. Tell old tales. That will be only butterflies. Hear poor rogues talk of court news. And we talk little too. Who loses and who wins, who's in, who's out. We take upon us mystery things, as if we were God's spies, and we'll wear out in a walled prison. Packs and sets of great ones that ebb and flow by the moon.
Take them away!
What such sacrifices, my good Lear, the gods themselves could all send. Have I taught thee? He that parts us shall bring a brand in heaven and fire us hence like foxes, like thine eyes. Good years shall devour them flesh and fell, ere they shall make us weep, will see them starve first. Come!
Come to the captain. Take thou this much. Go follow them. This one step have I advanced thee. If thou dost as this instructs thee, thou dost make thy way to noble fortunes. Know thou this, that men are as the times. Be tender-minded does not become sword. Thy great employment will not bear question. Either say thou do it, or thrive by other means.
I'll do it, my lord.
About it. Right happy with us. Mark. I say instantly, and carry it so as I send it down.
I cannot pull a cart, nor eat dry oats. If it be man's work, I'll do it.
Sir, you have shown today no valiant strain, and fortune led you well. You have the captives that were the opposites of this day's strife. We do require them of you so to use them, as we shall find their merits, and our safety may equally determine.
Sir, I thought it fit to send the old and miserable king to some retention and appointed guard, whose age has charms in it, whose title more, to flood the common bosom on his side, and turn our impressed lances in our eyes, that do command him. As him I sent the queen, my reason all the same, and they are ready, tomorrow or at further space, to appear, where you shall hold your session. At this time we sweat and bleed. The friend has lost his friend, and the best quarrels in the heat are cursed by those that feel their sharpness. The question of Cordelia and father requires a fitter place.
Sir, by your patience I hold you but a subject of this war, not as a brother.
Access be this to grace him. Methinks our pleasure might have been demanded ere you had spoke so far. He led our powers, or the commission of my place and person, the which you Just gives you off to prove prophets. Yeah, I told you so. It's but a squint. Lady, I am not well. Else I should answer you from a full flowing stomach. General, take down my soldiers, prisoners, patrimony. Dispose of them, of me. The walls are thine. Is this the world that I place thee here, my lord and master?
Mean you to enjoy him?
And let alone lies not in your good will.
Nor in thine, Lord.
Half-blooded fellow, yes.
Let the drum strike and prove my childhood.
Stay yet, hear reason. Edmund, I arrest thee on capital treason, and in thine attaint, this gilded servant. For your claim, fair sister, I bar to the interest of my wife. 'Tis she is subcontracted to this law. And I, her husband, contradict your bans. You will marry make the lust of me, my ladies have spoken.
An interlude.
Thou art armed, Gloucester. Let the trumpet sound. None appear to prove upon thy person thy heinous manifest and many treasons. There is my pledge. Prove it on thy heart. Ere I taste bread, thou art nothing less than I could proclaim thee.
Sick. Oh, sick. If not, I'll never trust Neds.
There's my exchange. What in the world he is that names me traitor, villain like he lies, call by thy trumpets. He that dares approach on him, on you, whom not, I will maintain my truth and honor firmly.
A herald, ho!
A herald! Ho, a herald!
Trust to thy single virtue, for thy soldiers, all levied in my name, have in my name took their discharge.
My sickness grows upon me.
She is not well, convey her to my tent. Come hither, herald. The trumpet sound, read out this.
Sound, trumpet. If any man of quality or degree within the lists of the army will maintain upon Edmund, supposed Earl of Gloucester, that he is a manifold traitor, let him appear by the third sound of the trumpet. He is bold in his defense.
Sound!
Again. Again.
Ask him his purposes why he appears upon this call of the trumpet.
What are you? Your name, your quality, and why you answer this present summons?
No, my name is lost. By treason's tooth, fair none is ignorant. Yet am I noble as this adversary that I come to cope.
Which is that adversary?
Who speaks for Edmund, Earl of Gloucester?
Himself. What sayest thou?
Draw thy sword, that if my speech do offend, thy arm may do thee justice. Here is mine. No, it is the privilege of mine honor, my rank and my profession. I do model thy strength. I do protest thy place, strength, youth, and eminence, despite thy victor sword and fire and fortune, thy valor and thy heart. Thou art a traitor, false to thy gods, thy brother, and thy father, conspirant against his high, illustrious prince, and from the extremest upward of thy head to the descent and dust below thy foot, a most toad-spotted traitor. Say thou no, this sword, this arm, and my best spirits are bent to prove upon thy head. Whereto I speak, thou liest.
In wisdom, I should ask thy name, but since thy outside was so fair and warlike, and that thy tongue, some saith, breathing breathes, what safe and nicely I might well delay by rule of knighthood, I disdain and spurn. Back do I toss these treasons to
The hell-hated lie o'erwhelms thy heart, which forward may yet glance by, and scarcely bruise. This sword of mine shall give them instant way where they shall rest forever. Trumpet, speak!
Let's exchange charity. I am no less in blood than thou art, Edmund. If more, the more thou hast wronged me. No, my name is Edgar, and thy father's son. The dark and vicious place where thee he got cost him his eyes.
You speak rightly. It is true. The wheels come full circle. I am here.
Thought that very gate did prophesy our royal nobles. I must embrace them. Sorrow split my heart whereby they gave thee or thy father.
Noble prince, I note.
Where have you hid yourself? How have you known the miseries of your father?
By nursing them, my lord. List a brief tale, and when 'tis told, or that my heart would break at it. The bloody proclamation to escape. Oh, our lives' sweetness, that we the pain of death would hourly die than die at once, taught me to shift into a madman's rags, to assume a semblance the very dogs disdained. And in this habit met I my father, his bleeding rings, their precious stones new lost, became his guide, led him, begged for him, saved him from despair, never, O fault, revealed myself unto him, until some half hour passed, when I was armed, hoping, though unsure of this present success. I asked his blessing, and from first to last, told him of my pilgrimage. Lack his weak heart, twixt two extremes of passion, joy and sorrow, did burst smilingly.
This speech of yours hath moved me, and shall the chance to do, but speak you on. You look as if you had something more to say.
There be more. We'll hold it in, for I'm almost ready to dissolve hearing of this.
'Tis would have seemed a time to such as love, not sorrow, but another to make much more, would top extremity. Whilst I was big in clamor, came there a man who, having seen me in my worst estate, shunned my abhorred society. On finding out who it was that so endured, with his strong arms he fastened on my neck, bellowed out as he'd burst heaven, threw him on my father, told the most piteous tale of Lear and him that ever ear received, which in the telling his grief grew puissant, and the strings of life began to crack. Twice then the trumpet sounded, and there I left him tranced.
Who was this?
Kent, the noble Kent, who in disguise followed his enemy king, and did him service unfit for a slave.
Oh, help! Help!
What kind? Speak, man.
What means this bloody knife?
Tis haunted smokes. It came from the heart of... Oh, she's dead.
Who did? Speak, man.
The lady, sir. The lady. Your sister by her is poisoned. She hath confessed it.
I was contracted to them both. All three now married in an instant.
Here comes Kent.
Produce the bodies, be they alive or dead. His judgment of the heavens makes us tremble, touches us not with pity. Oh, is this heat? The time will not allow the compliment with very manners urges.
I have come to bid my king and master our good night. Is he not here?
Great thing of us forgot. Speak, Edmund. Where's the king? And where's Cordelia? Seest thou this object, Kent?
Alack, why thus? Yet Edmund was beloved. The one the other poisoned for my sake, and after slew himself.
Even so, cover their faces.
I brought from life. Some good I mean to do, in spite of my own nature. Quickly send, be brief in it, to the prison. For my writ is on the life of Lear and on Cordelia. They send in time.
Run, run, oh run.
Who hath the office, sir? Send thy token of reprieve.
Well, take my sword, give it to captain.
Haste thee for thy life.
He hath commission from thy wife and me to hang Cordelia in the prison, and to lay the blame on her own despair, that she forgive herself.
The gods defend her, bear him hence a while.
How?
Oh, you are men of stones. Had I your tongues and eyes, I'd use them so that heaven's vault should crack. She's gone forever. I know when one is dead and when one lives. She's dead as earth. And you looking for that? If the breath should miss to stain the stone, why then she is.
Is this the promise then?
Or image of that horror?
Fall and cease.
This feather stirs. She can't. If it be so, it is a chance that does redeem all sorrows that had I.
Oh, my good master.
Rid away.
'Tis noble Kent, your friend.
A flame upon you, murderers, traitors all, I might have seen. Now she's gone forever. Look here. Clear stain. And it will. Huh? Yes, thus says. Her voice was ever soft, gentle and low. An excellent thing. Killed the slave that was a hanging lead.
True, my lord, he did.
Did I not know? I've seen the day when my good biting without shivers on a big maple stick. I'm old now from the same cross. Spoiled. Who are you? My lies are unconfessed, but never straight.
Fortune brag of true she loved indeed. One of them would be whole.
This is a no sight. I am not Kent.
The same, your servant Kent. Where's your servant Caius? He's a good fellow, I can tell you that. He'll strike quickly. Tell you what. No, my good lord. I am the very man.
See that street?
That from your first of difference and decay, I followed your sad steps.
Go up a little bit.
No man else. Most cheerless, dark and dead. Your eldest daughters have foredone themselves, and desperately are dead.
Aye, so I think.
He knows not what he says. In vain is it that we present us to him.
Very useless.
Edmund is dead, my lord.
That's but a trifle. You lords and noble gentlemen know our intent. What comfort to this great decay that comes shall be applied. For us who resign, during the life of this old majesty, to him our absolute power. You to your rights conclude in such addition as your honors have more than merited. All friends shall taste the wages of their virtue, all foes the cup of their desert. Oh, see, see.
And my poor fool is hanged. No life. Why should a dog, a horse, a rat have life? And thou no breath at all? They'll come no more. Never. Breathe. Do you see this? Look. Yes.
Thanks, my lord.
Break, Carter, prithee. Break!
My lord, speak.
Thanks, God is good. We'll let it pass. He hates him that would upon the wrath of this tough world stretch him out any longer.
He is gone indeed.
The wonder is, he hath endured so long. He but usurped his life.
Bear them from hence. Our present business is general woe. Friends of my soul, you twain, rule in this realm and the horrid state sustain.
Have a journey, sir. Short to go. My master called. I must not see him.
The weight of these sad times we must obey. Speak what we feel, not what we ought to say. The oldest hath borne most. We that are young shall ne'er see so much, nor live so long.